Now, I don't know how much of research you do before you get started in tech, but it's very important for you to carry out some research because the skills you're learning today might be obsolete in 2026 or beyond. And I've spoken to quite a number of people that would always say, oh, what do you think about this career path? Do you think it's going to be relevant in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Is it future-proof? It's very important for you to have a future-proof career path so that when you don't get a job in a couple of years' time, you won't wonder why and realize that it's because you learned a career path that is not relevant or not in demand. So don't learn a career path that would keep you stuck, broke, or ignored by recruiters. Now, I have reviewed over 1,000 CVs and interviewed over 300 candidates in the last 8 months. And here's what I noticed. Too many immigrants are stacking their CVs with skills no recruiter values, right? Skills that may have worked back then or back home, but in the UK, they are considered entry-level noise. So let's fix that. I would show you exactly which skills matter and which don't across 6 in-demand tech career paths like data analytics, data science, data engineering, cybersecurity, business analysis, as well as project management. Now let's get started with data analytics. What career paths will matter in 2026? Imagine applying for a data analyst role in London and your CV says proficient in Excel, but recruiters, that would look funny to them. Every single candidate has that on their CV. So what exactly matters in 2026? SQL for complex joins, e.g. window functions to calculate churn, Power BI or Tableau dashboards tied to business KPIs like revenue growth, churn, customer segmentation, and the likes, or Python for cleaning unstructured data, e.g. handling NHS free text clinical notes, right? Or lastly, storytelling with data, being able to explain to stakeholders how numbers impact strategy. All of these are things that they want to see. They are skills that matter, and you might be wondering how you can even get these skills. You have to work on projects. You have to tie it to business impact and business value. And you can check out Amdari. I'm going to be attaching the link to this video. There are a lot of projects tied to business values that you can take on there. And there is the internship side also, where you get to work on actual business challenges with team leads, teammates. You're not working in silos or in isolation. An example that I would like to show is a candidate that built a Power BI dashboard for a retail company in the course of the internship at Amdari, which reduced stockouts by 18%, saving £1,020 annually. That's proof of experience and expertise, and recruiters want to see that. Now, the skills that they don't want to see: copy and pasted dashboards from YouTube tutorials, listing data entry as analytics, or generic Excel or Microsoft Office related tools. Nah, they don't want to see that. Be more in-depth with your career. And like I said, a perfect resource is Amdari, which I have attached the link here, and you can speak to an expert there on how exactly you can get started. Now let's take a look at data science. What are the skills that are relevant in data science, and what are the skills that are irrelevant in data science? Here is the mistake I see often. Candidates bragging about 20 online Python courses. I exaggerated it, 20 is a lot, but yeah. Recruiters don't care. They want production impact, proof of actual delivered value. Now, what are those skills that will matter in 2026 and beyond as a data scientist? Deploying machine learning models with AWS SageMaker or Azure Machine Learning. Python libraries like Pandas, Scikit-learn, TensorFlow, not just tutorials, but applied on messy real data sets. That's what they want, is not just tutorials. Or building recommendation engines, fraud detection models, NLP pipelines tied to value. That's what they want to see, right? So if you're looking for projects in these areas or even beyond that you can work on as a data scientist, again, speak to someone at Amdari. The link to book a session with an expert there has been attached to this video. Now, skills that do not matter at all, random projects you see on Google or any platform that provides data sets that never leave Jupyter, or listing certifications without proof of applied projects. They do not want to see this. This is what everyone else is doing. So like I said, speak to an expert at Amdari on how you can jump on an internship program. Now, data engineering as well. Think about it. Every company is drowning in data. But who do they pay top salaries to? The ones who can move and scale the data into usable pipeline. So what's the skill for data engineers that would matter in 2026 and beyond? Building ETL or ELT pipelines in AWS, Azure Data Factory, or GCP data flow. Spark plus Kafka for processing millions of records in real time. Database design with Postgres, Snowflake, or Redshift. Data governance, GDPR compliance, pipelines. These are the skills that will be relevant, and you need to have project as proof of what you've done in those areas. Now, what are those skills that would not matter? Basic SQL, familiar with Excel. It doesn't mean anything. Now let's move on to cybersecurity. What are those skills in cybersecurity that will matter? Now think about it. Cybersecurity isn't just about firewalls or antivirus anymore. Every UK company is being hammered by phishing and ransomware. So what are those skills that will matter exactly in 2026 and beyond? SOC monitoring using Splunk, Microsoft Sentinel, or QRadar. Incident response with proven playbooks. Penetration testing, OSCP level or hands-on. Compliance with ISO 27001, NIST, and GDPR. These are skills that you need to be very familiar with, including threat intelligence reports that inform business decisions. An example would be a cybersecurity analyst at a London bank who cut phishing response time from 3 hours to 15 minutes using SOAR automation. That's the kind of quantifiable impact recruiters want. So, they don't want things like, I know how to make strong passwords, basic, installing antivirus. I can watch a video on YouTube and that'll sort it out. Single online certificate with no lab proof. You don't want something as basic as that. So get your hands dirty and work on projects. Now let's take a look at business analysts and the career path, or rather the skills that would matter for them. Now business analysts are the translators of tech. They are always the middle person between the tech guys and the stakeholders. But there is this mistake. Too many think attending meetings is BA work. And creating documentation is BA work. Now it's beyond that. Requirements gathering and writing user stories in Jira is very important. It's one of the skills that would matter. Stakeholder management, especially bridging offshore teams with UK clients. Process mapping, BPMN, Visio or Lucid Chat as tools used for this is perfect as well, or agile delivery and measurable business outcomes. You want to show all of this. An example would be a BA at NHS digitization-led requirements workshops that cut patient check-in times by 22%, saving thousands of staff hours. That's the type of impact they want to see. Not something like strong communication skills, endless Word documents nobody reads because it gets boring. Let's move on to project managers. Now, if you're a project manager in the UK, know that you are not hired for your certificates. You're hired for outcomes. So what are those skills that will matter for every project manager in 2026 and beyond? Agile delivery and Scrum ceremonies, budget and risk management, Jira, MS Project, or Confluence. These tools are very important. Leading cross-functional teams, delivering over millions in pounds of projects, that's also another thing. So an example would be a PM who leads a cloud migration project 6 weeks ahead of schedule, saving £400,000 in contractor costs. That's what recruiters want to see. Right, and I gave an instance from my journey. What they do not want is PMP certificate with no evidence. They don't want that. School projects, that's too basic. Or I know how to use Microsoft Word. Everybody knows how to use it. So if you'd love to build experience, you need to start working on projects. And if your CV is full of irrelevant skills, you're invisible. But if you stack it up with the right ones, right skills, right experience tied to real business impact, you become sponsor ready, job ready, and you look like that person they want to hire. So stop wasting time chasing things that don't matter on your CV and build proof with skills companies actually pay for. And if you would like to build these skills, just again, speak to someone at Amdari. I have attached a link to reach out to an expert at Amdari so they can show you how to get started in any of the career paths I mentioned in this video, and you will be glad you took that step. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, and we would love to see you in our next video. Ciao.